So I'm with Mike from Atlantic Prefab. So Mike, there's just setting up, sort of a crappy day, a little windy. You guys have unloaded or got unpackaged, I guess, the first tractor trailer. What's the next step? What are we doing?
So the next step is they're basically setting up to start picking panels. So they're going to pick them up and they're going to attach them to the side of the building. Actually, this is one of the benefits of having prefabricated panels is weather conditions. You're not framing outside, less guys, fewer injuries in inclement weather. So all of these were obviously prefabricated in our shop in Wilton, New Hampshire. So and then packaged up here and sent to the site. So it makes for a nice, easy install for not only our guys but the GC. Helps accelerate the schedule and move things along.
The GC could use some help right now too, because this thing's going to open in no time. Tractor trailers everywhere. If this starts going and getting smooth, can you do a whole side in a day, or what do you actually look for when you come out here?
We can. Luckily, we work with some great installers that can pop panels up very fast, get through a truck, and then move along to the other side to another truck. So that's another benefit to that is it's fast. Closes in the building quickly so guys can start working inside.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Every time they put in one piece, I thought in my mind, how much labor you just saved right there. Yeah. Man hours, problems, punch lists, inside, outside, that whole circumference is done. Here comes the next panel.
Yeah, the nice thing is there's a lot of quality control in our shop. So from start to finish, from framing all the way to finish and paint when it goes out the door, it's checked by our production manager until it leaves the shop and gets here. Rechecked here and then hung on the wall.
So you heard it there first, Atlantic Prefab. Everything lately is gone to this prefab because of what you just said, right? Everything's checked, it's labor controlled, it's in an environment that you can watch. The trades are taking a beating right now throughout the whole country. So this type of building is becoming more popular everywhere I go. It just makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way to do it. I mean, it's kind of the computer and the typewriter. You know, you might as well use the latest technology to get your building moving faster and get people in to start working.
So first of all, how big is this damn building?
The building itself, we're about 130,000 square feet. We utilize about 65,000 square feet.
It's unbelievable. This is more than I expected. So I actually come from the drywall side of the business way back when, and we start.
You feel at home here.
This is my house right here. We're in metal studs and we're building.
Yeah.
So it looks like a real production line. Rock, studs, right to this section. You can see and follow it all the way around the building and straight out the door. Hopefully on a good day, right?
Correct.
That's how it all keeps going.
That's the
What's
plan.
what's island number one right here?
Island number one, that is where the fabrication begins. So we are framing the wall panels. Then it goes to another station where they do the more detailed framing work. There's bracing and special lifting hardware that we install into the panel and build into the panel. That smaller detail work gets done at a different station.
Okay, so it's just as simple as it looks. Raw framing, bracing, way down there I see the drywall all the way across. You can see the foam, so it's actually not much to it, but there's a lot to it because these actually have to be picked up, unlike stick building in the field. Show me a couple more stations here. So sooner or later it becomes a little bit more technical as it comes down the line.
Yes.
These guys are making it square, putting the braces in, and you can start to see, actually, I know that's one of the Apex panels just by the look of it, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot to it. I haven't figured out yet how you figured to pick them up, but a crane rips them off a truck left and right, and they're not being damaged. So that must be a struggle as far as how you build panels to travel hundreds of miles and still be installed and not be damaged.
As far as the lifting goes, we have special anchoring devices that we install in the panel that they can easily attach their lifting hardware in the field to pick the panels up. These panels they can weigh anywhere from a couple hundred pounds up to, the heaviest panel we've done is 10,000 pounds.
That's incredible. So what do our Apex panels weigh? Because they're all about the same size.
On average, they're about 2,000 pounds plus or minus.
About 1,000 more than I thought. So
Okay.
there's my guessing meter. And they look a lot bigger here in the factory. They're huge, actually.
They are, and especially when we get further down the line, you'll really see how big they are.
You're wrapping them with pressure treated wood. I mean, so far they could float in the ocean as far as I can see. These are what kind of drywall goes on the outside?
On this one, we're using the USG product, Secure Rock.
Got it. So I call everything drywall, but it's not drywall.
Right.
It's light.
It is.
Yeah.
It's their ultralight board. It really is drywall, but it's made with the special paper face for exterior exposure.
Okay. Metal studs, sheathing, insulation, finish out the door. Now I really get a full appreciation of how much they weigh.
Yeah.
This isn't even sheathed yet, and look at it. Yeah.
And then we put like thin layer of concrete on top of it. You notice everything's being done at working height level, waist height level.
Right.
So typically, if this product was installed in the field, there'd be men up on a lift installing it.
Good point.
Having to deal with the logistics of operating a site on lift, especially as busy as a project down at Apex.
Right. Right.
It's a challenge to get equipment around the building. So we're taking all of that work, all of that nightmare logistical work, and putting it in the shop, doing it at waist level. Therefore, the quality is better.
Oh, it's perfect. Right. How long have you been in business? How long have you been around making panels?
Atlantic Prefab has been in business since early 2015. I've been in the panelizing business for over 20 years.
Didn't know it was around for 20 years.
Oh yeah.
No kidding.
This is a product manufactured by Stowe called Gold Coat.
Right.
And it acts as the weather barrier. It's a air permeable product. This gets fluid applied to the panel.
Right.
You can see the reinforcing mesh at the corners and at the joints.
All done inside.
Right, and we bring that weather barrier right to the perimeter of the panel.
Yep.
So the panel is virtually watertight. If we took this, put it in the water,
Yep.
it may float.
If it would probably float. Right. What are these guys doing now?
The next step, after this product is installed and dried, the next product is to what they affectionately call sticking the foam. So basically the foam, which is the exterior insulation,
Right.
it's an EPS product.
Over 300 panels. How many square feet?
About 60 or 50,000, over 50,000 square feet.
And when you're done this Apex job here in the factory, do you have the next job ready to go? Is somebody already beating your door down?
We do. We have another project. It's not a pre-finished project, but it's just simple load-bearing framed panels with sheathing.
Okay.
And it's a two-story building. We're also doing the roof trusses for that project.
Wow, that's incredible. We're in the truss section here of Atlantic Prefab. It's as big as everywhere else. What, is that one truss right there?
That's one truss. It spans about 40 or 50 feet. It's for an assisted living facility. These particular trusses, it's not like wood trusses where they're spaced 16 inches on center.
Right.
These trusses are spaced 4 feet on center, have a clear span of 50 feet. There's metal roof decking that goes on top. These are some pretty heavy structural trusses.
That's the real deal right there. What gauge studs are these, do you know?
Our trusses range in gauge anywhere from 20 gauge to 12 gauge.
That's like, honestly, a piece of...
Yeah, that's 14 gauge.
This is not a metal stud.
This is not your interior framing stud.
I've got Mark with me. So Mark, as far as the project goes, I'll just dig right in. Atlantic Prefab, there's a lot of buildings on this site. Yours is done. Let's just start with that for a minute. Let's not point, but there's a bunch of buildings that aren't quite as fast, I can say. Are the smaller buildings just tough for you to do it, or was it that become a price thing to people?
Usually this type of panelization comes with a premium. It costs a little bit more to do it prefab than it does in the field. So some of these smaller buildings, I have to imagine maybe their schedule wasn't as important as this one. Basically, we're installing wall panels. It took us 6 weeks to close in this building.
Right.
If it was done conventional methods like some of these other buildings, it would take at least 3 months.
I can point to a building nearby that's taken 3 months and it's half the size of this. So I just like to tease about the speed, because that to me, as far as selling Atlantic Prefab, anybody that's asked me so far, I'm like, well, come down to Apex and I'll show you. I get the biggest building on the whole project that has passed some of the smaller buildings on the whole project. So there you go.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more of your bragging rights, because I've been to your factory, I've seen you guys install. It's like clockwork.
Quality is probably one of the more important aspects of what we do.
Quality control.
Quality control, right. Another thing is, while this is obviously is the main route right here, a lot of people are seeing this.
Right.
It really does have value to have something go up so quick. And as you can see from the colors of the building, it really is something good to look at. It really grabs the attention of a lot of people in the area.
So colors we talked about in the factory, you don't care what color it is.
No.
You can do it.
We can do any color. It's basically, with this type of finish, it's basically a paint. We can mix any custom
does not matter,
color.
Right? So any challenges on a job this size? This is like a typical for you? To me, it's huge. To you, it's...
This project has most projects have very challenging schedules. This project especially had a very challenging schedule.
Right.
We kept catching ourselves in the shop. These panels are going up on the building so fast, we'd catch up to ourselves. They'd have to take a couple-day break, do some of the miscellaneous work that needed to be done, then we'd be back to installing panels.
Seem to have handled it pretty well, because you have an enormous building up there, and like you said, quality control seems to be a problem throughout the country, not just in your business, but in a lot of different businesses, that we just can't get enough mechanics in the field to make it worthwhile, and you're like ahead of the curve. You're ahead of the curve.
Right, and to many owners and contractors that we work with, the warranty that we offer is a very important aspect of this.
Talk about warranty a little bit.
Well, it's a 5-year warranty. There's a fade warranty on the colors also that's involved. There's no other company that warranties pre-finished panels more than a year.
Okay.
We do it for 5 years or more, depending on the project.
I didn't know that. I know they all come on a guarantee, but I didn't know you're the only one that guarantees it for 5 years.
Correct.
So if you need your building done, you need it done quicker than some of the other buildings around here, and you want a 5-year warranty, you're going to have to go to Atlantic Prefab.
Exactly.
That's the way I'm seeing this whole thing.
I agree. Another aspect of this building that pushed them towards prefab is that there is wetlands right behind the building. Doing EIF's work, using EPS foam from the cooler.
Right. Styrofoam flying around like it's snowing out all over the place.
There's very large fines that are associated to that. In this whole project, I don't know if you've noticed it, but they actually have a state police unit called the Environmental Police.
Yep.
And they're parked on this job site, right on the main road every day.
Always, right.
Yes.
Then there's monitors around for air control. I mean, this was no joke, because this was an apple orchard, which was a contaminated 40 acres. So everything here is really monitored tight, and you're right, that styrofoam look in the wetlands probably would have not concentrated.
So between general conditions and possible fines to go this route, you actually end up cheaper. Probably saving $100,000 in general conditions, and who knows what kind of fines.
And fines, fines could be more than that.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look up close.
All right.
This building is like a science project. The things that will go on inside this building is unbelievable. So the cut and duct work.
Yeah, there's a lot of coordination that actually went into all that, because all the holes in the panels had to be the correct size and the correct location. They had to be ready to be waterproofing in a way that worked with the flashing that comes with the duct product. They have their own special flashing. And another thing, you can't see it, but embedded within the finishes of those panels is solid wood blocking, which is very important to these guys installing them, because they have to fasten to that wood blocking. That's what holds those units up. Those units, I would say each run is probably at least 2,000 pounds.
I was going to say, all that really heavy angle iron on the bottom there is mounted to the wood that you knew where to put it back up in the factory.
Exactly.
Same thing, you can't touch that as far as how speed goes. And look at, that's a month ahead of schedule. I don't care who's arguing with you, right?
Right.
Walking around it, I start to get a little tired.
It is a very big building.
Take a look at the lifts and people on top of it, and it just goes on forever. And the biggest part of the building, as you get to here and look down the back, I mean, this is like Atlantic Prefab 101. You want your building done on time.
Exactly. Weather tight, getting weather tight is a very important part in this business.
Seeing it being done and seeing it be hung, and then on to the next one.
Absolutely.
Thanks, brother.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.